Hey guys, welcome to my newest video for today, November 1st. Halloween's over. Yeah. So the marathon is unfortunately finished. I made it to 199 movies. Oh, that's the lightning from the TV. But I did suck. I only watched 32 first-time viewings, and I think less than 5 of them were ones that I owned. So I'm not putting the ones that are in this thing away, because I'm going to try to finish them off by the end of the year. But again, didn't watch Near Dark, didn't watch The Invisible Man 2020, Quiet Place movies, Happy Death Day films, but I think we can all agree we're all creatures of habit. We tend to watch the same movies over and over again. Though, I am more shocked. There were a few movies I didn't go to. I usually watch the entire Evil Dead series. I only watched the first one. I usually automatically always go to Event Horizon. I didn't do that this year. So I was kind of shocked at some of the stuff I didn't get to, that I usually do. So, okay, we'll just get started on the last video of my horror marathon. So this is everything I watched from October 25th to last night. So October 25th, number 161, I watched The Woman in Black. Usually I watch this at the beginning of October, but again, I was trying to switch some stuff up. 162, I watched the UNW... that. I always get these words mixed up. The WNUF Halloween special. Very, very good. And thank you to Vinegar Syndrome for putting this out. And then 163, I watched Beyond Reanimator, so another series finished. And then I ended that night with the director's cut of Dr. Sleep. I'm gonna get shit for this, but I've preferred this over The Shining, mostly because of her. She was phenomenal in this. Okay, so October 26th, for 165, I watched episode 8 and the final episode of the 100 scariest horror movie moments of all time. At the end, I was guessing what number 1 was, and I was like, whoa, I didn't think that. But I was so happy that Sinister made the top 10, because that is a freaky ass movie. But I'm not saying what number 1 was or what the moment they used from Sinister, but I think you know. 166, I watched Poltergeist 3, and there was another series finished. And then for 167, did get another remake into this. I haven't watched that many. I watched Nosferatu, Halloween Rob Zombie's Halloween, and the Friday 13th remake. I didn't get to the Maniac remake, which I usually do all the time. But we can all agree this is a pretty damn good remake. The Blob. I actually have 2 copies of this. This is the Scream Factory edition. I'm keeping my Twilight Time one. Screw it. 168, Tenebrae, which I actually watched for the first time earlier this year, thanks to The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs. This is my favorite Dario Argento movie. I love it so much I actually got the soundtrack from Spotify. And 169 ended that night with Dead Silence. And October 27th, number 170, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Okay, 171. I finally watched it. Will I watch it again? Probably not. Because I always say I love horror films, I love gore, but I think I have to admit I do have limits. I think this was my limit, and you're all gonna laugh. You might know what it is. Yep, I did watch it. I did like it, but I think it's just way too gory for me. Maybe I'm getting older or shit. I don't know. But am I keeping this? Yes. Will I watch it for next year's marathon? Probably not. Will I watch Terrifier 2? I'm in the middle with that. Kind of as long as I don't pay for it. But you know, it is what it is. But I can finally say I tried for like 3 years to finally watch this in my marathon. I finally did. And 172, I went to Rec 2. And then 173, I watched Chud. And then ended that night with The Frighteners. It's this way because this is a Zavi Steelbook. Yes, I love this movie. This was my intro to Peter Jackson. October 28th, first two movies from the... Rewind. The first two movies were from the same set, so essentially a double feature. Bad Dreams and Visiting Hours. And so that was 175, 176. This is 177. Silver Bullet. Oh, I love this movie. And then 178 and 179 were from the same set because I figured I hadn't watched enough Hammer. And I picked for 178, Dracula Has Risen from the Grave. 179, Taste the Blood of Dracula. Kind of upset with myself adding it to Dracula AD 1972 because that's one of my favorites. And then ended that night off with Laid to Rest. Okay, so for October 29th, I watched, for 181, Ernest Scared Stupid. I watched I'm still on season 4. Well, this is the final season because it got canceled like 2 months after the season ended. I watched disc 3, 4 episodes of Sleepy Hollow season 4. And that night, or that afternoon, my theater only wanted to show this at 9 p.m. And I was like, no. And I wasn't driving out to Richmond to go to a 7 o'clock show. So I went to the 3:10 show of Trick or Treat. I finally got to see this in the theater. I'm so fucking happy. A little too late, but hey. The only downer was there was only 4 other people in the theater. This huge auditorium that usually fits about 100 people. But they were quiet. Unlike with what happened with Poltergeist, if you saw what happened. But yeah, and we all cheered when Sam came on the screen, so I was like, oh yeah, we're all fans. Especially the one guy, he had a Trick or Treat shirt. But it was the one with Ozzy Osbourne and Gene Simmons, and I was like, okay, I don't care. That's fucking awesome. But yeah, finally happy to finally have seen Trick or Treat in the theater. And then when... talking too much. I need my Pepsi, so excuse me, guys. So, 183, my dad and I watched Bram Stoker's Dracula. You know my feelings on this. I love this movie. This is my favorite vampire movie of all time. And then I decided I only had 3 episodes left, so I finished off season 4 of Sleepy Hollow. And then ended that night because it was still like 9 or 10 and I was itching to watch another movie. And I watched The Changeling. Yeah, you can see it better there. And then for October 30th, my first movie of the day, 185, was Casper. I love this movie. It's one I watch every October and has been that way since 1995. I was about to say 85. And then here's a weird choice. I decided to watch, for 186, Scanners. I think this is my favorite David Cronenberg film. And 187 was the first time viewing, and I watched Gretel and Hansel, and I actually enjoyed this. And it was so odd because I was like, okay, I recognize this music from somewhere. Where do I know this music? It wasn't from another movie or anything, but the composer, he did the score to 2012's Maniac, which I absolutely love. And I actually went and downloaded the soundtrack on Spotify. I don't find it as bad as everybody was saying, but it was quite slow. But, I mean, Alice Krug, who I mainly, the flubs are here, guys. We just have to deal with them. I mainly know her as the Borg Queen from Star Trek First Contact. That's where I've always known her from. She does play Sinister really good. 188 and let me check, the second to last remake to make the marathon. Of course, this I stated, it's my favorite horror film remake. House on Haunted Hill from 1999. And then for 189, another remake, reboot, whatever, from 1979, Dracula. I quite enjoyed this one. And number 190 ended that night with one of the greatest films of my childhood, The Monster Squad. So here we go. We are up to Halloween. I watched a grand total of 9 movies. 3 of them my dad and I watched, but I only got to 1 first time viewing, but that's okay. It doesn't bother me. So for 191, the first movie for Halloween was Brain Scan, because I was itching to watch this, and I was like, I had a few other choices, but no, I want to watch Brain Scan. Still to this day, I want Michael's bedroom, because I thought that bedroom was like the coolest bedroom ever. So, and I find out that sentiment is very much shared with a lot of people nowadays. Sorry guys, my leg has a tendency of falling asleep when I'm standing still, and yet it's only my left leg. 192 was a first time viewing, and I watched Rob Zombie's The Munsters. I did enjoy this. I gave it a 7 out of 10, which I found out is nicer than what other people did. It was a tad bit too long. They could have shaved about 20 minutes off it. I was one of the naysayers. I was like, okay, why is Sheri Moon Zombie playing Lily Munster? I actually liked her. And I liked the guy who played Grandpa. Guy who played Herman Munster, you could see a lot of Fred Gwynne in there, but he did try to make it his own. But overall, I enjoyed it. There were quite a lot of familiar faces in this, mostly from Rob Zombie's movies. Because, I mean, if you get along with the actors that you've worked with over the years, why not use them again? I think it would have been cool to see Danny Trejo in this. That would have been a hoot. Of course, I cheered when Cassandra Peterson came on screen. And the most notable for me is this gentleman who played Igor. If you love sci-fi, you know who Sylvester McCoy is. He's only the 7th Doctor on Doctor Who. But did I enjoy this? Yes. Is it going to be a rewatch in the next couple of months? Probably not. This one will probably be saved for every October. But it was enjoyable. But it was so odd to watch a Rob Zombie movie that wasn't R-rated and full of gore. Even my dad thought that was weird, but he said, well, you can't do the Munsters and make it R-rated. So, and then after that, 193, I've stated this is one of the greatest movies in my childhood, and in my top 100 favorite films of all time, this is number 16, Tremors. Oh, and 194, I was just trying to find something to watch, and I chose this over Event Horizon. Please don't hate me, but I actually like it, and it's another Paul W.S. Anderson film, Resident Evil. I love the Resident Evil franchise. I don't care, but I was like, I wanted to watch a zombie movie, so this is what I chose. And then went and got pizza. We got the whole shebang at Pizza Hut because our usual place was closed. They're normally closed on Mondays, but I thought they would be open on Halloween, but they weren't. So these are the following my father and I watched. 195, it's been a staple since it came out in November 1999. My ring light is dying. But I have watched it every Halloween since 2000, and that, of course, is Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow. It's one of my favorite movies. And believe it or not, my dad really likes this movie. 196, Deep Rising. I love it too. I actually watched it a couple times in the theater. Yes, it bombed back in 98, but it was such a fun monster movie, so I enjoy the hell out of it. And I love Stephen Sommers movies. So, and the last one my dad and I watched, this was my choice for my 18th birthday. You know, normal 18-year-olds, they go to a party. This 18-year-old on November 4th, 1998, went to see John Carpenter's Vampires. This is on my list of favorite Carpenter films, and a lot of people have it on the downside. I enjoy this one. My dad enjoys this one. I mean, I haven't watched it in quite a while, like I think the last couple of years, but I've always loved it. Out of all the ones he did in the 90s, I think it would be a tie between this and In the Mouth of Madness is my favorite. But John Carpenter's Vampires. And then 198, the last two were Halloween themed, and I wanted to keep it that way. And it was Tales of Halloween, really good anthology. And of course, 199, I ended it with Idle Hands. Oh, and I caught it. So there we go, guys. That is everything I watched for my final week of my marathon. So at the moment, the book will get put away till next year, my Halloween book. I still have a ton of pages left. So it will take me maybe 2 more years to fill out those pages. And just to give you a hint, I started using this book in 2017. 5 years later, this thing isn't filled. But it's been good to me. So, and I have a bunch of other notebooks I can choose. So let me know what you guys think of these titles, which ones you like, which ones you don't like. If any of you have seen The Munsters or Terrifier, let me know what your thoughts are. Did anybody have the same feeling as me with Terrifier? Like, I don't really want to watch this again anytime soon, but I'm still, like, Cannibal Holocaust, I'm still gonna own it. Like, I've seen Cannibal Holocaust once. That's it. I'll never watch it again, but I'm not getting rid of my Blu-ray because it was the Horror-Pack Limited Edition number 28. So, but yeah, I hope you guys had a great Halloween. It was quiet, but there were a lot of fireworks. And there was actually some trick-or-treaters out, which was nice, because the last few years, like even before the pandemic, there was barely anybody out. But I think everybody tried to make a conscious effort to go out and trick-or-treat. And from what I hear, a lot of people in my area, they ran out of candy before 8 p.m., which was crazy. So yeah, guys, that is it. I don't know when my next video will be. I haven't been buying a lot of Blu-rays lately. The only one I have gotten, which I bought today, I bought it. I'm happy. This is my favorite movie of 2022, so I don't think that's going to change. Even with Wakanda Forever, I don't know. But like I said, let me know what you guys did for Halloween. Did you just stay in and watch horror films like us? Did you go out trick-or-treating? Did you go out to a party, dress up? I just decked out my house. So until the next video, guys, whenever that may be, I hope you all have a great evening, because it is 5 p.m. here. So I hope you all have a great evening. I'll say it again. Watch a shitload of movies, and of course, as always, like, comment, please subscribe, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye, guys.